Chico, that was amazing. I'm doing some pictures here. I wanted to dedicate this next section to my Aunt Pauline. There's a picture here in the vitrine that my mother did as one of her projects because she was a photographer also. And it was in the Landscapes magazine for Brooklyn College with Pauline. And yesterday was Pauline's 93rd birthday. So we're dedicating this to Auntie Pauline and to longevity in the family. So now we're on to our next section. Looks like we have some more people here. And I'm just really happy to be here tonight. I'm going to get in front of the camera. Hi, I'm Dr. Merritt. And welcome everybody to the Arts and Healing event tonight. I'm so glad that some of you were able to make it out in the live section. We also have virtually on our Facebook. Let's see if I have 20 friends. I'm Dr. Merritt from Institute. It's so great to be in the museum. This wonderful night at the museum, Art and Healing. We heard from Dr. Weddle about the importance of the arts, and we have never evidence that doing art in many different forms is good for your blood pressure. Today is mental health month. We're going to hear now Helen Neal, who is a trauma reform specialist, and how she has seen and worked with people with trauma and resilience training and the importance of art and creativity. And while she's speaking, we'll just show you images of the gallery.
All right, thank you. Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Merritt, and also Chico. That was beautiful, and Dr. Weddle. I do trauma healing, and I'm a trauma level 2 trauma healing specialist and resilience specialist. And what I like to share and talk about is arts and healing, and especially with trauma. And I didn't realize that when I was a little girl, and my mom and dad were, I was in a family that had domestic violence. And as I was studying and preparing for this, I remember as a little girl, when they would have the domestic violence altercations, I would go and get the newspaper, which used to have cartoons in it. And I'd go in my room and I'd draw. So that was my comfort and my stress to get out of that situation of domestic violence. But I never knew it was therapy. I was a kid and had no clue that I was doing my own art therapy. And then I also realized that you don't have to be a professional artist or therapist to get something meaningful from art therapy. Regularly creating art, whether it's drawing, playing an instrument like Chico just did, or knitting, or pottery, or whatever you want to do, knitting a sweater, or just anything can start and unlock new parts of our brain. The benefits can be as simple as stress relief. That's the thing that the art did for me. It kind of brought some peace in my home. It wasn't as stressful as it was. Helping, and it also can help in groups. The benefits can also be done in groups, working through grief, depression, trauma, as I said, addiction, and many other obstacles. What's more, there's a lot to be gained by doing it together. Was I supposed to be going, Chief? Keep going?
Keep going, Helen. You're doing just
okay,
fine.
I wasn't sure.
We appreciate what you're saying.
All right.
We'd love to see you on the camera too, Chief. I don't know if we can see Helen on our side.
Oh, you can on mine? If
That's
not,
okay.
they can hear me. I'll just keep going. What's more,
Keep
there's
going.
a
You're
lot.
doing great.
Okay, there's a lot to be gained by doing it together too. So one thing that I did look up, and I hope I do her name justice, is that I was, searching and seeing more stuff about arts and healing. I saw a research study that I thought would be good to bring up tonight, because it was dealing with cancer patients. And I thought that was really, really, they did a study and they saw the improvement from these patients. And it was Dr. I hope I pronounce her name right, Garija Kimmel. I hope I'm saying it right. She is an associate professor and in the PhD program in creative arts therapies at the Drexel University College of Nursing and Health Professions, and assistant dean for special research into interventions. Now, what she did in 2017 with the funding from the National Endowment of Arts Research Labs program, Dr. Kimmel and her team set up an art therapy study within the radiation oncology unit in a large urban hospital. They offered 22 patients and 34 caregivers individual 45-minute sessions of coloring or free art making with an art therapist. Meanwhile, they monitored the patients with several surveys and psychological function before and after the sessions. Afterwards, participants reported feeling more positive, less stressed, less anxious, and more self-confident. Several patients described these sessions as one of the few moments of respite from their hectic treatment schedule, and they appreciated the time and the space to reflect on their experiences. They also surveyed the caregivers, who reported feeling less burnout. Many responded that the experience distracted them from the daily concerns and allowed them to focus elsewhere. In addition, the art therapy session was the first time that some participants had a chance to process the psychological and exhaustional challenges of dealing with cancer. They stated they watched people open up and begin conversations with strangers after a facilitated drawing activity. in ways that they may not have if they were not if they were only just talking alone. Almost all of the participants took their creations home, and many have told them really, that they kept their artwork in their home and office. They often can't believe that they made it. When I was going through, even back in my traumatic times before I became a therapist, I ended up having some traumatic events, that depression and anxiety that led me into treatment. And that was the one thing that they did do. They did art. We had to do something. It was making beads, if it was drawing pictures, doing painting or what. And it just takes you away from whatever's happening in that moment. So I want to suggest to all of you out there to please find some kind of art if you're stressing or having some anxieties and different things going on, even if it's just coloring. I'm so excited now they have these big coloring books for adults that you can just color. And I used to go into Salem Freedom, which is a group for trafficking women that have been trafficked. And that was one of the things that they used in their therapy. They used the adult coloring books. And I would watch these ladies go through there, and as they were going through there, getting out of their addictions or whatever that they were dealing with. And I saw amazing things happen through that. So that's what I have to say tonight about art and therapy. I'll say, if you're stressed out or feeling low, just go ahead and find some form that you love to do and make it happen. Thank you.
Helen, that was fantastic. And I'm gonna hone in on this painting right here. I don't know if you can all see it. It's called Just Breathe. It was done in 2014. And many people don't know that Eleanor Merritt was a cancer survivor that fought for 13 years with metastatic lung cancer. And she did this painting in the depths of her treatment, and things were really difficult. It was also a time of unrest in society, and this whole theme of fighting to survive, and it struck her. And I think her art, without question, is what gave her the inspiration to keep going, similar to what you're saying, that she was able to fight this thing and have a great quality of life for most of the time that she was doing so, because she could create. And when she created, she was joyful. And if she was joyful, she had a good quality of life. And that's what we all can hope for. I also want to come to this piece, which is called Remembrance, which is the theme of the show. And at this point, she was kind of reflecting more on where she's been in her life, who's gone before her, what might come after her, and the ancestors that kind of she draws strength from. And so I think we should always remember those who went before us and think ahead of who's coming after us, even as we're in each moment, that each moment counts. And what we do at that moment counts. And if you create something that then lasts, like art, then that's the gift. And this is a gift that Eleanor has left us with, of inspiration. And to just remember to be in each moment and to create and see beauty, and to just enjoy it as you can. So I want to thank you guys for that. And then we're going to be hearing from Siobhan again at 6:30, right? I think she's next on the schedule. So tune back in a little while. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Thank you very much, Chief. We can cut the Facebook.